Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I hope you had a great week. And before I actually get started, I do want to let you know have been having some technical difficulties with my computer just in case anything happens and I get knocked offline. But again, hello, and thank you for coming to this week's weekly live for relationship communications. Um, Welcome to this week's weekly live. I'm thrilled that you are here with me. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, I'm Lisa DeToffel, and I'm the founder of Relationship Communications. It's my online community where I work with established and aspiring entrepreneurs. And today I'm going to be your host for Relationship Communications Weekly Live, which is my weekly live stream show that airs every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I hope that you will add that to your calendar and make plans to join me every Friday morning. And my goal here is to share tactical and practical information to help you get where you want to be faster than you can go on your own. I've been an entrepreneur for 6 years. I've made many mistakes, and I'm here to tell you I can help you move through them more quickly by sharing what I've learned through my experiences. So let me know if you're here live with me. Say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. And we are streaming in various different places. So if you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button or ring that bell so that you can be notified every time that we do go live. So today we're going to be talking about how to protect your time as an entrepreneur. So if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner, you know, your time is a very valuable asset for sure. And you want to make sure you're managing it wisely. Before we dive into our topic, I do want to introduce myself. I'm Lisa DeToffel, of course, and when I was a preschool teacher in 2017 and 25 years prior to that, I had always dreamed of working from home. But I had been through two messy divorces and been a single mom twice, and it didn't seem possible at that time because I was the breadwinner of the household, and basically I was scared, to take that chance and go out and try something on my own. I met my current husband Jeff in 2012, and that is when I could see the possibilities of my dream coming true. However, it was not an easy task by any means. And with Jeff's support, I started a training program to learn how to be a virtual assistant in 2018, which showed me also how to start my own business. And so by the end of that program, I had a couple of clients and have continued to grow my business. And now also the Tiger Eye Solution team, which was created in 2021, every single year. But life looks a whole lot different now than it did back then, for sure. Jeff and I are married. These are our three children, Caleb, Matthew, and Alyssa. Our three grandchildren, JP, Hattie, and Anakin. So, there's a whole lot more value to what I do. There's a bigger why, to what I do than what I had in the very beginning back in 2018 when I first started out. So again, our topic today is how to protect your time as an entrepreneur. So this topic is all about mindset. Mindset is a very great, of great value as well when you're an entrepreneur or business owner. So we all have the same amount of time, right? The same 24 hours in every single day, but it's how we use it that's important, okay? So any questions that you may have as I'm talking and sharing about this topic, please add them to the chat, put them in the chat, because I would love to answer them for you. Or if you're watching this later on the replay, put your questions in the comments, and I will circle back around later today and answer those questions for you. So let's dive into this topic of time. We are at the end of February, guys. This is actually the last day of February, right? But it's still the first quarter of the year also, right? And so we still have, so we're still filled with hope for the year and all the things, the goals maybe that you have set for yourself and for your business. Maybe you set them back in January or whatever for the year, which is great. We're still in the beginning stages in the very first quarter of the year. So it's still a new beginning, and we hope that it will continue to be a better year and that business will take off or continue to thrive, whatever the case is for you, right? And you don't have a job outside of your business. Now, some of you may, if you're just starting out, you still may have a job outside of the home, outside of your actual business, if you're just now trying to start your business. I did that as well. Back in 2018, I was still a full-time teacher in the classroom and starting my business part-time in the very beginning. So, all the things. And while I'm a believer in the power of hope, I'm also a believer in making sure you put a foundation together so your business can grow. And that's very important from the get-go, from the beginning stages, okay? And knowing what's important in business is not always intuitive, okay? So I'm going to walk you through three things that you can put in place so you can take your business to the next level this year, okay? So the first thing is a dedicated workspace, okay? And especially if you're just starting your business, you may maybe be using the dining room table right now, or you just sit on the couch and do your work. That's not a designated workspace, okay? So it's important to have an actual designated workspace of where you're going to work and do your work. And what like I said, what I mean by that is a place where you can set up your computer, your printer, all the things that you're going to need to actually do the work that you're going to be doing, running your business, or, the work that you're going to do with clients or customers, whatever that looks like for you. So you don't need to be in a space where you have to move everything every time you get ready to sit down and do some work, okay? Like the dining room table example, yes, right now that may be a available space, but okay, it's the weekend and maybe you're having a family gathering. You're going to need that dining room table, right? When the family comes over to eat or whatever. So that means you're going to have to move all your work stuff off the dining room table so that you can actually use the dining room table for your family to eat, right? That's not a designated workspace, okay? A lot of new business owners don't realize that this is such a big anchor for us, and they work on, like I said, the couch or the dining room table, all the different places, whatever place they can find. And, their focusing is a level of comfort, basically. Yes, you can be comfortable when you're working, but you also want to make sure it's a space where you can concentrate on the work that you're going to be trying to do, okay? So like when I walk into my office, I know it's about business. That's what's going to take place when I walk in and sit down at my desk. I have, my computer is set up, so I'm not underestimating or, the mindset. I have the mindset shift when I walk in the door that work is going to take place and work is going to happen when I sit down in my chair at my desk, right? Because I have that official specific place, excuse me, I have a scratch in my throat, of where I do my work. So you want to do that as well. You want to have a specific place to where when you go to that certain place, it's work. You're going to have work on your mind. It's a work mindset. That's what you're going to do in that specific space, okay? The thing to know, it doesn't have to be, a big room at all. Some people don't start out with a specific office space, and that's okay. But you want to have a specific nook or corner or whatever to where you can actually set up a desk, a small desk or a small table of a sort, to where you can actually set up your computer and all the things that you're going to need to do your work. Okay. But like I said, you definitely want to have a specific space. If you don't have a specific space right now, it's okay. Find a specific space in your house. But you do, however, want to find that space quickly after starting your business. If you don't have a specific space right now, you just started your business in January. The beginning of this year, you just started out. That's great. That's perfect. And you've just been working wherever you can find a spot since you started. And that's okay. But you want to be mindful of finding a specific place in your home or in wherever it is, to where you can actually set up everything you're going to need to work, your computer, all the things. If you can, have a door for that space, that's great. I do have a door for my my space is actually a bedroom. We just took an extra bedroom and made it an office. We just don't use it for a bedroom. We use it for an office space. So I do have a door that I can close and open, whatever the case is, while I'm doing my work. That way, if I need the privacy and the quietness, my door is shut. And you need a space where you can do that as well. So, like I said, if you do have a door on your the space where you work, that's great. If you can't, it's okay. You can still create a good workspace when you can concentrate. You still want to create a good workspace where you can concentrate and get your work done, okay? But when you have to move from space to space, it's distracting. Like I said, if you're working on the dining room table, for a short period of time, that's okay. Until you get a specific designated space set up for you to be able to use that for your work. That's okay. But make sure your desk is big enough to spread everything out that you're going to need. I do recommend multiple monitors if that's a possibility for you. I currently use 2 monitors. I am hopefully in the near future going to be expanding to 3, but I do currently have 2 monitors that I use. Like I said, I'm advise that if it's possible for you to get multiple monitors. But they don't have to be, the expensive, anything expensive, expensive monitors or anything. They can be used. You can use a monitor from Goodwill, or you can use an old TV. If it's a flat screen TV and it's a small one, you can use that as well. It has to be able to use HDMI, a cable or adapter. Okay. So give that some thought, because it's really much easier to work when you have multiple screens. If that's not a possibility for you right now, just because you're starting out, that's perfectly fine too. Maybe put it on your to-do list 6 months from now, since you're just starting your business right now and it's not in the budget or, whatever, that's perfectly fine. Put it on the to-do list or the want list or whatever you call it, for the future. The second thing I want to talk about is the importance of routine. You need to be able to block your schedule. So that includes time to eat, exercise, time to work on your business. Notice I said work on your business. I didn't mean client work and customer work. Yes, you have to have time to do those things too, but you also need to set aside time to work on your business, because that's also important. Okay. And you must set boundaries. Okay. Around your time, and create a routine that protects those boundaries, because otherwise you're going to be pulled by every distraction that comes your way. And that's not what you want. Okay. That's another good rule of thumb of having a designated workspace so that you're kind of away from all the distractions going on maybe in your home, especially if you have small kids um, running around your home or whatever the case may be, or if you have a spouse that also works from home, that can be a distraction as well. Do not set up your workspace in the same area as your spouse's workspace. There are some uh, married couples that they both work from home, and that's perfectly fine, especially since the pandemic in 2020. A lot of people preferred just to continue to work from home instead of going back to the office space, right? And that's fine. And it's okay if you have a spouse that also works from home. Just don't set up your workspace in the same room or the same area where your spouse's workspace is, because they could be on a phone call or a Zoom call or whatever, and they're talking to someone else, and that could be distracting for you. Or maybe you also have a phone call or a Zoom call scheduled for the exact same time. Both of you are not going to be able to be on a call at the same time if you're in the same room or the same area, because that's going to be an interference, a distraction, and so many other things as well. So definitely make sure you don't. Now, my husband and I have both worked from home before. He's not currently working from home, but he has in the past had a position where he also worked from home. But his workspace is not in my office. It's in another part of the house, to where he has his own privacy to do what he needs to do, have the phone calls, Zoom calls, whatever he needs to do. And I do too. Okay. So that's very, very important. Hi, Robert. So glad you could join me this morning. Okay, moving on. So, like I said, you want to set the boundaries around your time, create a routine that protects those boundaries, because otherwise you're going to be pulled in all kind of different directions. Now, it's okay to tell your family and friends you are working, because you need to protect your time, right? The time that you are working, it's going to create a different dynamic in your relationships. Okay, for sure. I do have notes here, guys. Sorry. And you have to make sure that's clarified with family and friends. Okay, and even little children, if you have little children in your home. Make sure the time you have scheduled to do your work is not during the same time you're supposed to be caring for them, especially if you do your business and work in the evenings. Okay, I understand a lot of you, especially when you're starting out, you have a full-time job outside the home, and then you're working your business in the evenings part-time, and that's perfectly fine. But make sure the time you have scheduled to do your work is not the exact same time you're supposed to be taking care of your kids, feeding them dinner, getting them ready for bed, or whatever the case may be. That's not a time for you to be trying to do your work. That's not setting good boundaries. Okay, so if you are starting your business, working at part-time or whatever, and the evening time is when you're doing that, that's fine. But make sure it's before or after you have to take care of the children, whatever that looks like for you. If you have to cook them dinner and get them fed and get them bathed and prepared for bed, all those things, I understand that. That's part of being a parent. But you want to make sure it's not during the same time you have scheduled to do your work. Okay? Whether it's working on your business or whether it's doing your client and customer work. Those two times need to be different. Okay? That's setting boundaries, and that's setting good work time. Okay? So, moving on. I can tell that, no one ever calls while I'm working unless it's an emergency. My family and my friends know I have specific work hours, and that's a boundary that I have set up. I have specific work hours, and they know I'm working. My family knows if my office door is closed, don't bother me. Now, do they follow it to the T, not always. A good example of that is just the other day. Most of you know I have a high school senior. My daughter is a senior in high school. And this week she got her cap and gown. I knew she was getting her cap and gown one day this week at school. And so that specific day that she received it, she came on, she wanted to put it on, she wanted to show me, all the things because she's super excited, right? And I'm excited for her. However, the specific time that she came home from school, put that cap and gown on to come show me, my office door was closed because I was busy and I happened to be on a Zoom call at that given time talking to someone. But yet she opened that door and tried to walk in and show me her cap and gown. And I could not acknowledge her at that time because I was on a Zoom call talking to someone else. I was working. So that is one time, and I get it. It was special to her. She's excited, all the things. It's not every day you bring your cap and gown home from school, right? So I get that. But that's a prime example of setting boundaries. Now, otherwise, no, she would not have opened that door because she knows when the door is closed that I'm busy in here working or on a Zoom call with someone like I was that day. So set those boundaries. Me and her had a conversation later in the day. And she explained, well, I was just so excited to show you. I said, I understand that. Totally understand that. And it's not that I did not want to see you in your cap and gown. It's just at that given moment, I was busy working and I couldn't. So boundaries are important. Very, very important. Now, like I said, friends and family don't call me unless it's an emergency. So if I see, the name of a friend or a family member come up on my phone, I know I might need to take that because it might be in an emergency and something I need to know about at that specific given moment. And they don't call because they know I'm working. They know I'm committed to my business and I'm committed to being able to provide for my family. And the distractions will take me away from that. Right? So when you think about it that way, if you can think about, all the shiny objects or multitasking, that's not going to get you to your why or keep you there, keep you in your chair, keep you in your seat, doing the things that's going to move your business forward. Okay. Like my why has grown. It was my family. It's my grandchildren too. I've added that to my why because now I have grandkids, right? So keep your why front and center. It keeps you in your seat. It keeps you setting those boundaries that need to be, if you have them set, you need to enforce them. Okay. So it helps you to keep them enforced with those around you. And helps you be clear on exactly why you're doing what it is you're doing, whatever that looks like for you, why you started your business in the first place, that type of thing. Okay. So why is this important? What's the benefit going to be? Think about that. So when you're tempted to do something that's not really important, you'll think again, or think about possibly the stepping over a boundary or letting a boundary go at that given moment or whatever. Okay. The thing about my friends and my family is, I don't need to respond to everything immediately. Just like the example I gave of earlier this week when my daughter came home with her cap and gown and she wanted to show me at that specific time because she was so excited to show it to me. But I wasn't available at that specific time. She learned that real quick, like when she had to turn around and walk right back out of my office and close the door because I was busy. So sometimes we get into a trap of thinking that we have to respond or something is going to happen if we don't. Nothing going to happen with me not responding to my daughter at that given moment of her trying to show me her cap and gown, right? She showed it again. She put it back on again later that day and showed it to me when I was available, right? So I can still see it. She can still show it to me. Just at that given moment, I wasn't available for her to show it to me, right? It wasn't something I needed to tend to immediately. It was something I still tended to at a later time when I was available, when I was no longer working. Okay. So we're uncomfortable leaving something undone. In order to be successful, you have to learn to be comfortable with having something undone. Because if I stopped and excused myself from that Zoom call to take care of it, to go acknowledge her in her cap and gown, then that was not showing much professionalism, right? If I had done that, because I was on a Zoom call with someone at the given time she walked in my office. So that wouldn't have been very professional of me to tell that person I had to go, or could you excuse me for a second, or whatever, take myself off screen or whatever and go acknowledge my daughter when I knew it wasn't something I needed to handle immediately. Now, to her, she might have thought so, but she learned later it was still just as important later when she put that cap and gown back on to show me as it was when she walked in the door of my office to show me. Because I know it's a big deal to her. It's a big deal to all of us. But yeah. So just set your boundaries, stick to them. I know sometimes that might be hard to stick to them. But in order to be successful, we have to stick to our boundaries. We have to learn to be uncomfortable and sometimes leave things undone and take care of it later. Just like, if a client sent me an email and say, can you do this right now? I need this done, within the next 30 minutes. I might not be available to get whatever it is done in the next 30 minutes. Right? But if I did that for that client, I would have to do that for all clients, and I wouldn't get very much done in a day, right? If I have 10 clients and they all sent me that type of a message at the beginning of the day, or throughout the day for that matter, can you do XYZ for me and get it back to me within an hour? No, I cannot. I'm happy to do XYZ for you. I will get it done and get it back to you in the next couple of days. Right? I can still do XYZ for them, whatever it is. But I can't get it done within 30 minutes or an hour, because more than likely when I receive that email from that client, I'm busy working on something else. So I'm not going to stop whatever it is I'm doing, or I'm in the middle of a Zoom call. Who knows what I'm doing at that given moment when that email comes in. But I'm not available at that given moment to take care of XYZ. Right? But I will get to it and I will take care of it. But not within the next 30 minutes or an hour. I can get it back to you in the next couple of days. It will get handled, it will get completed, and I'll get it back to you within 48 hours. Boundaries, they're very, very important, okay? So, like I said, I would never get anything accomplished, okay? At the end of the day, I would much rather have a thriving business and be able to do things like going shopping with my daughter, or start planning for college, because that's something we're doing right now. Starting to shop for college things that she knows she's going to need to take to her dorm. Okay. Um, that's more important right now to me than possibly, say, getting all the laundry done. The laundry will get done eventually. I can work on that in my free time, whenever that is. But if I have scheduled a specific time, like today or tomorrow, say, because it's the weekend, for me and my daughter to go shopping to purchase certain things for her to take to college for her dorm room, then I'm going to do that. I'm not going to worry about the laundry. Right? I can take care of that later. But we still have clean clothes. As long as we still have clean clothes to wear, we good. Okay? Laundry will get done eventually. So it's just a matter of priority. And, I was raised, yes, the laundry is important, all the things, the laundry, the dishes, cooking a meal, whatever, all the different things. But I can make different choices if I want to. I can either make the laundry a priority and stay home and do laundry, or I can make my daughter a priority and go shopping with her and get the things that she's going to need for college. Right? So it's about boundaries. It's about what you put first, what is most important to you. And this can be, a type A tendency. The things is that, you can use type A tendencies in your favor. It's just, pick different things to focus on. You can pick and choose where to put your focus, right? There's a specific coach that has a podcast that I like that she talks about Tiger Time. She talks about putting time on your calendar to work on your business. She protects it as if she's a tiger protecting her cub. And that's how she thinks of it. You need to protect your business, just like that mama tiger protecting her cub. Okay? Put your priorities in order. What needs to be done and what comes first. Yes, I know your family's important. Yes, I know that's most likely your why. It's my why. And a lot of other people, their family is their why of why they do their business or why they started their business, etc. But setting those boundaries and having priorities, organize your priorities, what's number 1, what's number 10, go down the list and start with number 1. Whatever that top priority is, that's where you need to start, okay? And it's really important to do that because that's how you're going to reach your goals. And that's how you're going to get to your why, right? Not by making sure everything is done all the time, but by making sure the right things are done and putting away the rest. So you can even break this down every day, whatever time it is that you work. Like for me, every day when I come to my office, I make a list of the top 3 things I want to complete that day. I have a ton of things that need to be done, but what's the top 3 that needs to be completed today? Right? By the end of the day, if I've got those 3 things completed, I had a good day. And if something happens, something comes up, and I don't complete those 3 things, I'm going to start with the one that's most important out of the 3. Okay? Now, the least important, say I get 2 out of those 3 things completed. So, in other words, the least important one did not get done. Then it's okay to push it off to the next day and make it number 1. Make it the top priority for that specific day. So like the 3 things I had written down today, if I don't get them all completed, then that last one can get bumped over to, Monday, because I don't work weekends. So it will be Monday of next week it would get added to the list for Monday, and it would be in the number one spot for Monday. Does that make sense? I hope so. And so if you have any questions, of course, put them in the comments below, especially if you're watching this later. Please do use hashtag replay if you're watching the replay of this at a later time, just to let me know that you're watching it later. But I also want to invite you to the Relationship Communications Facebook group if you are not a part of it. We have a ton of new members in there who just recently, back in January, we did the networking method launchpad and training, and I wanted to invite you because some of you may not know, that I have this Facebook group or Facebook community, Relationship Communications. And so scoot on over to Facebook, put Relationship Communications up there in the search bar, and it should come up. There's almost 600 members already, and which is very, very exciting. And we have monthly community mixers, networking events on Zoom, which is a lot of fun. And it's a way for you to connect with other professionals and other business owners, right? And you might, meet a new accountability partner. Who knows? So come, no matter if you're, just starting your entrepreneur journey or you've been on your entrepreneur journey for quite some time, it's a good place for you. Okay. So no matter where you are in your journey, if you're just getting started or been in business for a while, you're sure to have a lot of fun and make a lot of new connections for sure. So thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it. The next weekly live is, I'm not certain if it's next week or the week after. Let me look right quick so I can tell you. Yes, it's next Friday, March 7th. Oh my goodness, guys, we're getting ready to start March. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. And like I said, if you have any questions about anything I shared, or if you want to have a conversation about the things that I shared about your time, protecting your time. So remember the boundaries and remember your priorities. Okay. See you again soon.